You know, for the longest time when I see these shows on TV, like I'm not watching the whole thing. I see it and then it comes on the news and I see the clothes they're wearing and so to me I think, man, these outfits like so out there. I will never see anyone wear these outside in the nightclub or going out in town.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'll never see this stuff in real life. Like people wearing it. But is that sort of like the goal for fashion, to get these kind of outfits out there to change the fashion of what people wear going out? You know what I mean? Because some of these outfits, like for extreme thing, is the wearable outerwear, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, but not that. No one's gonna wear that, obviously, in outside. But
Can you imagine?
Yeah. Big peacock thing at the back of you and stuff.
Just to get my rappers to road.
But then if you watch NBA, you watch Russell Westbrook when he always comes in his out of clothes. Like, in America they're wearing this stuff.
Yeah. There's an American designer called Tom Brown. He actually, I don't know what group, but this was really clever of him, was that he basically dressed all the whole NBA team. So when they left, they're all wearing his suits. But there was different types, because there are different heights and stuff like that. But I think LeBron James, I think it was his team at that time, but he was wearing a suit, but it had shorts, and then the other one was wearing a suit. As it was different, but it was basically his brand. And I thought that was so clever of him to do that, because they at the end of the game, like after they finish, they have their shower, like wind down. Now they're getting ready to go back home. They have to leave the stadium. But they would all leave together. They would leave all together and his stuff. And it was basically like a little mini fashion show.
It is, because I think how they do it in the States, when any sports team, when they come to the stadium, they all come back individually.
Yeah.
They all drive up themselves, and the cameras are always outside waiting for them to walk in, and they're walking in and they're filming them just walking with their clothes and whatever they're wearing.
But when they leave all together, but to get back to your fashion question, so to put in some context, so there's different types of realms of fashion. So there's ready to wear, so that's basically stuff that you see and I can buy straight away. And then there's high end, which is similar to ready to wear but a bit more expensive, so same jacket but probably in leather. And then the other one is avant-garde, which is the the out of it, I don't know, like for example Moschino did a whole like a hamburger dress. Like we would wear that, so that's avant-garde. And then there's haute couture. Now haute couture is where the top of fashion is where these garments are like $10,000. And you're like, who would pay? And I'm like, but the reason you pay $10,000 is because you're paying everyone who made that dress. So for example, probably went through like 75 hands. You're legitimately actually paying the right amount to those people who made it. No, like $10 an hour. So they probably can pay like $100 an hour, depending on their skill level. But that $10,000 dress is worth, because you're paying these people. But it's to put it in another context is we do, so the fashion show is usually 15 to 35 minutes, depending on people come in and leave. But 35 minutes just to be shown on the runway for 15 minutes for a year's work.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I was just about to ask that.
Yeah, so that's what we would do for a whole year, organize fittings, stuff like that, just for 15 minutes on the runway.
Wow.
And then bang, and then move on to the next one.
Yeah. So you know how you said 75 people.
Yeah. So
what's the process in that kind of item of clothing like?
So these haute couture, they're like art pieces, but also they're made to be wearable. But these things that like for example, they're called artisans. They're like, say for example, like a fashion house, say Christian Dior, they have someone who's known for beading, so they would bead the garment. But they also needed to have it embroidered. They could use somebody else to embroider it. Then they could use somebody else to pattern make it. Yeah, it's like mini hands. And then it's interesting because so a lot of their stuff, I don't know, there's a documentary about with Chanel where they had one garment that they were struggling with because they're like, we can't get it. So they made it they had the whole, I think it was like 7 months, but they were cutting it right up close. They literally were stitching her just before she got onto the runway because they were struggling with it. It's really difficult. But it just shows, even if you're a professional, timing is everything.
Mm.
So they had 7 months, and then right up to that minute before they're calling, okay, time to models to walk out, and then gone.
So that 15 minutes of fame. So what happens to the garment after that? Like what?
It depends. So there's usually a buyer on the buyer who's sitting on the stage. He was like, oh yeah, I'll come backstage and have a talk. And then but some shows actually bring out the garments afterwards for the buyers and industry people to see if what they want to do with it. For example, so after 15 minutes and you talk and you hoo-hoo hooray, and then the garments sometimes will, if the models are still around, they would come back on stage and stand there, and then it's up to the, like, oh, can I get 5,000 of these? Can I get yeah, so stuff. I don't know if they still do this now, but that's what's commonly done. And then sometimes they have and it's just people sitting on, because you don't know who's sitting in the crowd. I don't know. There's a model named Chanel Limon. She had her first ever runway, and she winked and smiled someone out in the crowd, and she didn't realize that she smiled at Anna Wintour, and her whole modeling career changed. She went from being a nobody to somebody within a night, and it just shows you don't know who's looking, because in the fashion show, the crowd was dark. The model, the only light you see, specifically on the runway. So when you're walking, you're just like, who's over there? Who's there? You know?
Can you see the what's it called? The affiliation with this network with the on-brand runway model thing coming up in association with Tanuvasa Awards music night.